Among the populace of humanity, they have a term that is stretchable in imagination, within the boundaries of the imagination, but it goes a distance. It's called the long run. See, there is a long run to your life. You do have a stretch of time somewhere in the mysteries of another decade ahead of you that is feared. And it is a motivation as well to work, to effort, to safeguard your institution, your image, your name, and how you portray it. I'm wondering if any scientific paper published could go author unknown. That image you construct looks to the distances for solitude. The solitude of self-sufficient, not separation, not loneliness or being alone. No. The island, that is its own government. That is its own success. Right? The long run stretches. You have time and energy there. You have algorithms in the long run. They run within your clockwork, your constant will of the now. Let me give you truth about truth. Truth never leaves. In time it cannot leave until it is noticed as no longer a preference by the conscience of separation. Every single other species in all of the nows, in the time that me and you know each other, there is no other species that distances themselves in truth. Everyone's truth is now. Even living in time, there's no long run. There's the reference of time as an ally. There is no distance of fear, closeness of fear, and regrets of yesterday. You can have never, ever chosen different, my friends. Truths are always self-chosen is the best expression possible by the conscious mind. You must know this as an available truth to understand about yourself in reflection. These truths that are grazed over, not observed by the awareness of your own reflection, the humility, the humbleness of your own self-awakening. That self. Yes? Must see a truth that is an algorithm. It is a truth and it is attraction. Potential of what? Vibration. So if you are holding on to a truth, as the superhero in Roxie since 12 or 13, she failed her father. She left her wallet inside of a changing room. The chaperone took it. She didn't have enough guts to say, "You took my wallet." But the chaperone, out of guilt, paid. They were on a trip to Italy. Paid for some things. We got back home, told the father. And the father, Timothy Phillips Wainhart, in his glory of absentee truth, berated Roxie. And in that moment of crying, and the father even after crying, saying, "Oh, great show, because the father felt such failure in the son. And Roxy's superhero was born in her mind. 2 days she wet the bed for those days. 2. Because it was such extreme failure to the only source, and the pain was unbearable. So here comes Roxy, the superhero. It's okay. I got you. Start talking to herself. Very close to going off the deep end. Oh, yes. Very close to, I'm sure they would have called it schizophrenia or something back in the 80s. Very close. But Roxy was an extrovert. So she communed here and had to commune outside. She needed that outside interaction. So it played out. But the superhero was born, and that's a truth. And the superhero is still inside of her. It's an image. It's a truth that is very old. She's 51, 12 years vibration. 12 years old, it bursts and it runs as an algorithm. And it always is there when the situations are bleak around her. The compassion for others in her lifetime, coming in and saying the right words, consoling the idea of basic training when she went to the military, 1990. 90? Sounds right. Consoling the other soldiers. Roxy was strong, got to be her hero. See it? Got to be an image. She doesn't seek that today, but in here she does, because it's an algorithm. And she plays out the scenarios in her mind over and over again. She plays out the fear, she plays out the drama, she goes to the bad, to the worst, to the absolute atrocity, and comes in and changes it with her mind and allows it now, because she's becoming intimately aware of truth. You got to explore your attic. You got to move the furniture and sweep the dust bunnies out of the corners. Your work is effortless because it occurs naturally. Every single vibrational match that is no longer your truth will be shown to you in a now. You can't know what now, but in the now. In every now, live your love. Don't live your life. Life is long run, right? Live your love. That exploration exposes truths. Most of you hate yourself. At one time or another, you did. So part of that is still running. Some of you are very high in it still, and some it's a shadow. But whenever it comes up that you judge yourself, let me ask you a question. Let's all be rhetorical. Is there any difference between hate level to dislike yourself? Or is that the human mind measuring? Hate is dislike. It's anywhere in the field of polarity. The field of polarity, from good, your best good, to your best evil, is equal. The only way to notice the differences of the same vibration is with your emotion stretched to the perceiving belief system that equates to an input, and you feel that emotion. Whether it's good and you feel good. Ooh, it feels so good to feel good. Let's all run to good, right? You understand these things today. Do you understand that hate, that you've hated yourself, is still there, even if it's dislike? When we mean love yourself, we don't mean the glory of a conditioned love. We mean the state of being. Loving yourself is complete allowance, complete acceptance of every aspect that is in your kingdom. The coalesce of these ideas, the transcendence of these belief systems that bend your frequency and tell you this scenario as truth. These truths exposed to be coalesced must be noticed and understood, and they return to the natural self that is beyond good, great, dynamite, orgasmic. Everyone has an end scale in their measurement field, but it's in the same vibrational reality as the other end. The difference is frequency, the rate of the vibration. Okay? Low, high. Just the frequency changed the tone. But it's all in the same world, isn't it? You must explore everything effortlessly in the now with humility as your approach. To humble yourself and know you hate yourself somewhere, dislike yourself somewhere. Roxie checks her out in the mirror, and she has this man chest. It's a very wide chest. It's very barreled thick from the side portion. She can't do anything about that. She has to accept that. And when she understood a connection, that she doesn't have to be one or the other, that she can actually blend the two with no effort. Took a while to swallow that one, right? Because she just loves femininity. She loves womanhood. She is connected to it in such passion. But to deny herself as masculine would be obtuse. This is her battle. Discovery. To accept this with the state of being. Not convincing love, not conditioned love, not your beautiful love, to be a hero or a cheerleading squad for her appearance. Not that kind of love, because that kind of love is empty. That's not master. Master is acceptance. Master is acceptance that you're no good at doing life to obtain an awesomeness at a steady pace. You're going to crumble and fall and tumble, and you're going to work and build yourself back up. I bet all of you have already done that. Why does it cycle? Because the algorithms, my friends. Because the truths are somewhere in you. Let's look at this truth. Let's say this truth is a dislike. And for a period of 2 or 3 years, you're having a good life. Okay? So there's not much noticeability in the frequency. And I do this as a cycle. Okay? I'm just going to cycle this. This is your will of the now, and this is part of your algorithm. So energy runs across it, but it doesn't run across it that often. Because your focus is over here at these idea constructs of ah, ah, ah. So you have more truths focused here, and you're getting that algorithm, but this is still being part of your reality, the reality of now, okay? But then when one of these losses, success has become a loss and it's no longer there, then this becomes a little bit more noticeable. When all of a sudden a good time turns into uh-oh, do you see the algorithm build up? The uh-oh turns into oh shits. It may not be happening in the physical, but the vibration is being noticed. And then it starts to speed up because the mind is selling you on a story, because this vibration is now noticed and it is asking you to look over here as well. And if you give it energy, it becomes a monster. But it's not a monster. It's a monster to the mind that huddles in the success world. Anywhere from mediocrity up. You're a fulcrum in the middle. Whatever's on the good side. That's where you stay. That's where you promise yourself. That's where you console yourself. That's where Roxie heroed herself. To be in the admiration side of others' acceptance. This is why she worked so hard all her life. Because she wanted a pat on the back. That's it. There was one time she took a day off. Depending on the dealership, some dealerships were open on Sunday. She was working at Scottsdale, Arizona, in Scottsdale. What is it? Van, I'm reading the sign, Van Chevrolet. 7 days a week. The only reason in that period of time, she worked there for a year, she took a day off because she had enough stability of self-worth being inputted from a different source. So she didn't need to feed this source to become her constitution again of the fulcrum, good side, right? Okay? So this is why we explore ourselves. This is like we're honest. This is why we're honest. When you have a reaction, listen to the reaction of your voice. What are you saying always? Record yourself sometimes, and you're going to see how you're always reacting the same way to situations using the same fucking words. Why? Algorithms, my friends. Truths that don't go away until the conscious mind looks into it. But see, you were taught not to look into these things. You were taught to run, hide, work, change, become something other than what you have discovered in the here and the now. Roxy watched this movie last night, 1776, the musical, about the idea of Congress and what it took to become tyrants. Because everyone who signed that became treason. And they accepted to be tyrants to slaves. But they gave in. They gave in so they can birth a nation first. And then we all know what Abraham Lincoln did. But it's just the human drama. It really doesn't mean anything. But what it meant to Roxy was the absolute courage to go against the values of yourself and scratch that out, as Jefferson did. Took away that whole clause. freeing the men, women, and children that were colored different. She cried because there was a connection of what? Courage. Now, that's not the hero any longer with Roxie. That's the master of being a human. To live your truth in the moment and not to hang on to it as an image. That's what courage does. It lets go of the image at the testing point to allow yourself, with no defining measurements, to discover a new truth. And Thomas did that and birthed the nation. Okay. These truths that you find inside of you have to change. They cannot be held in image any longer, or your life will remain frequency bound. I would like you to look across the nations today. I would like you to visit your Facebook pages, and I would like you to become a master observer and look and feel alive in these ideas of interpretations of reality from others. And you're going to notice that they are algorithms. You're going to see the slant on their expression, the slant that begs polarity justified. Okay? And for you to go beyond that, to go beyond polarity, it's going to take some masterful, humbling, painful work. The work of the now, the effortless exploration. As Jamie said, why am I less than? Why can I not be good enough to date the son of a better school, the son of a principal of a better school? Well, because she's less than. Less than occurs on birth because there's no knowing. And the less than is a potential cover. But there's also self-worth depending on the authority that you have in front of you. Most of your authorities are not worthy. That's why you have different lives. That's why some people are more successful than others. That's why some people are lonely and some people are just beautiful. It's because what they coveted is a truth. But we can't look at those truths as a way any longer. We can't look at any of that anymore. We have to disconnect from anything of what was. How you got here, why you got here, what happened, who your parents were, are you successful, are you a failure, what happened yesterday, what should happen in the long run. All of that vibration has to be crumbled, crushed, extinguished, destroyed by focus. Yours. Your focus will absolutely obliterate a truth. Because you are a constitution of the whole. This was channeled. I think it's a meme too. In Roxie's mind, she sees it somewhere. When you coalesce a truth, you're approaching it from the state of being, the natural. It's not that you're turning it back into nothing or neutral. Your relationship with that vibration is now harmony. No measure, if you will. Beyond polarity, maybe. These ideas to transcend belief systems is so tricky. Because you have a mind that you're very used to that's been selling you a story since you got here, selling you the truths that you have accepted. Why would you ever let go of the truth? It says, isn't this good enough? Until the mind sees reason, convincings, a better long run to change the truth, and then the transcendence of that is easy. But it's still polarized, isn't it? Because it's a convincing game of dislodging from this dependency and applying it to this dependency. This is why, let's say, people that are in love, and then they transcend to another lover when things aren't doing so well, because they haven't been honest. And their well is running dry of dependency. So they put out their vibrational radar and attract change, potential. See, one that loves themselves seeks nothing. No companion, no ideas of admiration and envy. All these things are attracted. They come in natural. But you have to know why you don't like yourself. You have to know why you're not worth money, Jamie. And when you discover the truth about that, you have to act as if it's not a truth. You cannot budget anymore, Jamie. You cannot save for the rainy day. You cannot be cautious any longer or responsible for your life. These are the long runs. These are time. The master doesn't validate polarized messages from the past. The master accepts them as a belief. Jamie, I speak to you. I know you're not here. Or did you come in? Roxy's checking. This idea, as Roxy did, when the money came, she spent it, no matter what. Because she wanted to know she deserved money, and that was the way she did it. And money would always come. Now she doesn't spend the money like she used to. Because she knew that was a proving image. But that was her way to get to the truth. This is what we represent in no hesitation. Don't wait for the perfect now. Create it, because you have always done so. So whatever is ailing you, you got to get to know it. You got to talk to it. Not as an entity, not as a separate idea of negotiations, as Brent has attempted many times. As an exploration to say hello and accept it into you and let it run. Get to know it. Let it tell you stories, but see your emotions attaching as if it's real. But if you are steady in the now, you can see there is no reality except the one that is now. The realities of time are potentials, pasts, futures, playing out in some probable now. But it is not your command or your destiny in the long run to arrive at these figures. It is what you are now that brings in your truth. And until you know what is your truth, then you cannot see your change. If you can accept your entire world as lack from the get-go, then you're going to have an easier time accepting lack and not fighting for lack that appears to be the good, the secure, the safe, the better, because it's the same world, my friends. It's not leaving this world either. Stand by. Many hopefuls want to leave the vibrational earth human experience. That's long run. You have to be a match to your worthiness. And you are. And once you accept that match as your truth, you can see the belief that is keeping you less than your truth. Okay? Your natural worthiness, yourself. Okay? Becoming intimate, that attracts different qualities of vibration, frequencies at a different rate. There will be a time that you will attract frequencies that are not bound to an earthbound experience. But just like everything else, if you use lack to get there, you'll never get there. And we're not necessarily talking about leaving the planet Earth. We're talking about shifting awareness to where the holodeck has left the planet Earth, but you haven't. You're still here and now. You can snap back in. Doesn't mean you can't change the holodeck. Go to spend, let's say, one of Roxie's favorite plays, the purple moons of Endora. But that's vibration. Okay? And you have to understand the truths that keep you here. Not here on planet Earth in the same relation to the same frequency that is known as a human psyche. You want to go beyond humanity? Then you have to go beyond the truths that hold you as this realm, idea, circumference, bubble. You can imagine yourself on other planets. But see, there's a quality of imagination to a physical mind, isn't there? There's a quality to your life, and there's a quality of a dream. There's also a quality of astral projection, isn't there? You can feel it differently in dreams and here and there. But I'm talking your holodeck, reflected, not the one in time, in mind, in third eye. Why not this? But this comes as the miracles, what some would say. I'd say it's the deservings. But it has to be the effortless part of accepting everything about you to change the algorithms of the will of the now that attract different reality frequencies, and therefore you get a different reality. Everything is relationship at first, and relationship of worth returned allows the accessible vibrational field to operate at such a larger idea to where when something of this nature knocks on your door, you're not going to be surprised and question it. You're going to transcend it and walk outside into a different world just like you walk outside every day. But there are many that are wanting to be on this planet, that are dreaming in their dreams right now what it would be like to be a human. Of course, to know what it is to have sunshine weather, to eat so many varieties of food, to have so many tastes, to have gravity, fall and hurt, to be able to fly distances. Many are dreaming of you today. You're in a world you're creating. You're vibrationally giving that to the collective of all that is. And you're matching frequencies far and wide for others to dream of you as you have dreamed of them. But you're the one who's chosen the mastery. And you want to change yourself, don't you? Well, you got to stop selling yourself on ego. Whenever you're asking questions, whenever you're accusing, whenever you're pissed off, whenever you're wondering why, get to know yourself at that moment. Be an intimate self. Saying, this is me, isn't it? And now there's a voice that says, yeah, it is you. Now that's you. Anything other is your ego trying to say, no, it's not you, it's them. Of course not. You haven't done anything wrong. They did. When you know your ego through polarity, then you'll know your ego in all of your nows. And those nows known as a structure of belief system that is no longer your match, that ego, then go to work by acceptance. Simple. Quite simple. We take the class through different vibration frequencies. Each of you feel different about different parts of the classes, don't we? But each of you can relate, can't you? Because it's all in this same psyche, isn't it? And when you know intimately, and for some reason some of you think there's not enough time, well there is, because there's no time. Okay? Since there's no time, that's why you have the ability to take your time. Okay? And you intimately get to explore yourself. The humbling nature of a lost God accepting its entire life as its own best truth, with not one vibrational ounce of hesitation, regret, secondary thought any longer. But these thoughts that ring in your mind are algorithms of potential. So you must accept them again and again and again and again and again until you know it as the perfect. And the acceptance has to be a vibrational shift in feeling. If you're accepting with a convincing mind and you don't feel any different, you haven't accepted shit. You've convinced yourself you've accepted it with an ego, with a turncoat playing the role of a spiritualist now to get you there. Don't be a hero anymore. Don't even be a hero to yourself. Accept yourself. Every part of it. See why your mind acts in different ways. The different stimuluses. Who ruffles you, who doesn't. What things mean to you. Like birthdays, Rose. Is she older? Yes. Because she validates it. Is that a problem? No. It's an experience. Roxy's growing older. She feels it. She feels younger, but she can see the old coming out. But it's not an image. She can feel time more with herself. She can feel the body changing. Because the older she gets, the more awesome she becomes. So she's not denying the experience of age. Because she's finding herself through this journey. So she's going to take her time and she'll find it. As all of you will. Truly. But you have to be your own kingdom. Your own mastery. You have to admit to yourself that you suck. You have to admit yourself you're always hoping too much. When you don't understand, it's your ego that doesn't understand. That means drop it. No matter how painful it is, no matter how frustrating it is, no matter how much you need a goddamn answer, you have so much regret you have to correct. Don't take 1 ounce of action to fix, to change, to effort. And this is a very large, naked area. When you shut down the defense systems, and it's going to hurt. It's like an exposed nerve on the tooth, and a little bit of cold sends you. Oh, it's going to hurt. Moving furniture again upstairs. Acceptance of the truth about that, Roxie knows. That's all. And then there's no more feeding because there's no focus. So when you accept your truths and you understand them intimately, you will never choose them as a vibrational truth any longer. And what happens when you don't focus on something? You destroy it. It's no longer part of you. It's in the pool of consciousness for all to use, including you, just differently. Because there's no filter between you and that, because you are not objected. You're not outside of yourself any longer. Roxie has a few covers left, a few shieldings in the intimacy of her channeling. For those of you who've been with her for a while or observing her product on YouTube, you know she's becoming more intimate with herself. Because there's a different quality in the channeling, isn't there? And each of you are responding to it. Because you are defenseless finally. You're allowing vibration in. And it sings a new song, doesn't it? Yes. We are it's a collective of one. I'll give you a framework. There's portions of all of us here. Humans. Humans that are connected to different species. Different species connected to others. And finally getting back to the whole. Right? But the collective of one is portions of all of these wholes. Individual singularities holding. Focused on this reality that Roxie pulls in with her authentic. As potential. The class takes it and we swarm together and we come together like this. So these are you. These are us. These words, these vibrations, these authentics. They're you. They're me. They're Roxie, Tom, Tommy Jean, Jennifer, Katie and Mom. The collective of one is a signature of truth. Doesn't mean you do anything with it. Doesn't mean you want more of it. It's what you are. And that accepted is priceless. Okay? Okay. Well, this is our ending of the week. We'll return maybe. Potential. If there are any ideas of interaction want to be spoken, you may do so. If not, we will do our thing. Oh, look. You got that, Rox? Okay. Nothing, it seems? Okay. I'll bring Roxy back. It has been an honor this week for you to create us. Truly.